If Jaden Daniels can beat Lamar Jackson, the current frontrunner for MVP, he will instantly supplant Lamar Jackson as the frontrunner for MVP.
Right now, today, in 5 games, Jaden Daniels is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. Child, please, again.
It was a bad time for the Empire. That was the night everything changed.
We can't believe a word you say.
Over the last 4 weeks of the season, there has been no offense more dominant than the Baltimore Ravens. Just looking at the quarterbacks that the Ravens have faced and taken out is astonishing. And the one tweet that I think encapsulates everything that this last month of football is about, it said, "Everyone is better than 8 until it's time to be better than 8." And over the last 4 weeks, Lamar has been compared to what some would perceive to be his NFC counterpart.
Another one bites the dust.
Then the MVP frontrunner.
And another one gone.
Then the second best QB in the league.
Then another one gone.
And then the next Lamar Jackson.
Another one bites the dust. Ow!
And over the last 4 games, the Baltimore offense has been rolling. Lamar Jackson has been in his bag, and he has been in his bag so much that they're not even talking about him anymore. Now, if he played poorly, they would have him on every sports media. He would be the opening of the show. But because he is playing so well, I'm not hearing anything about him. They're not putting him on publications. They're not even leading the show off with him. They'll give him about 30, 40 seconds. Oh, the Ravens are doing their thing, and they move on. So Baltimore Ravens fans, we are in a new era where Lamar Jackson is finally getting his respect. And I think yesterday's game topped it off. We heard all the noise. Jaden Daniels is the new Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels is the MVP frontrunner. He passes better than Lamar. We've heard all of these narratives, but when it comes time to put up a shut up, our quarterback puts up a lot. And in yesterday's game, he showed the world that there is only one Lamar Jackson.
There can be only one.
And the 2024 version of Lamar Jackson is boss Lamar Jackson. This is, towards the end of the game, the hardest level Lamar Jackson. He has fully taken command of this offense. He has taken command of the leadership of this team. And hopefully this will finally be the season where the Ravens take themselves to new heights, just like Lamar Jackson is. Now, we heard all the talk about the #1 offense in the NFL with the Washington Commanders. Oh, the rookie sensation Jaden Daniels, how they just aren't punting the ball and they're scoring at an unprecedented rate. Yes, unprecedented for Washington Commanders fans, because let's be real, over the last 30 plus years, they haven't done much. So, they get a little hyped, they get a little excited. I understand. I'm not even mad at them, because if my team was just that bad for that long and they finally had a winning season, I would talk cash money-ish myself. Like, it would be on and popping.
Once again, it's on.
I can boast and I can brag. So to be down for so long, to be down for 3/4 of your life, and then finally have an opportunity to say something, I get it. But when you come up against the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, when he is focused and when he is on point, there is nothing that they can do to stop him. The Ravens have won 4 games in a row, and Lamar Jackson has been truly dominant. A lot of people are going to attribute some of this to Derrick Henry, and they're saying Lamar Jackson is better because Derrick Henry's here. Maybe so. I will say that, yes, it makes things a little bit easier where Lamar does not have to be the leading rusher on the team, and he can focus on just making plays. But Derrick Henry is not the reason that Lamar Jackson is completing 67% of his passes. Derrick Henry is not the reason that Lamar Jackson is hitting guys outside of the numbers. And Lamar Jackson is just leading an efficient offense. He can run it, he can throw it, he's spreading the ball around to different receivers. And this has me believing that once the Baltimore Ravens learn how to utilize all aspects of the passing game, this team may be unstoppable. If you saw the game yesterday, Zay Flowers went off in the first half. A Ravens franchise record, 9 receptions for 132 yards. Rashad Bateman chipped in 81 yards. They got Nelson Aguilar on a big play. Isaiah Likely did his thing. And Mark Andrews showed up. So you have these guys, and you have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the backfield. What is the NFL going to do? Is this the best offense that the NFL has to offer? And that is the question that is being asked today. If you ask me, I'm going to say yes, it is. Do not believe that there is a team in the NFL that can stop us right now, especially with the way that Lamar Jackson is playing. You have Derrick Henry, who has a touchdown in each of the first 6 games. And the only other player to do that was LaDainian Tomlinson. He also reached a milestone where he was one of 5 players to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in like 20-something games. Truly amazing stats. And Lamar Jackson is doing his thing. Not only did Lamar go 20 for 26 for 323 yards and a touchdown yesterday, he has passed for 300 yards for the last 2 games for only the 2nd time in his career. And this, to me, is a little bit different because before Lamar was just going off talent back then. This time he is going off of talent and knowledge. He's dissecting the defenses. He's reading defenses, which people said that he couldn't do. He's changing plays at the line of scrimmage. This is Lamar Jackson's offense. And to sit there and compare him to a rookie, to me, was borderline disrespectful. Now, no shade to Jayden Daniels. I like him. I liked him coming out of LSU, but let's calm down for a minute. 6 games into his NFL career, or 5 games at that time, and you want to compare him to a 2-time MVP. Yes, he was doing some amazing things, but let's be real about the situation. 6 games in, 6 passing touchdowns. Let's calm down on the next Lamar talk. Let's even slow down on he may be the next CJ Stroud. Like, let the dude play and let him be himself. Let him grow into whatever it is he is going to be. As for this game yesterday against what was the worst passing defense in the NFL, he was okay. He did a decent job, no turnovers, 200-something yards, 2 touchdowns. I give him that. But for somebody that's supposed to be this dynamic and possibly be the front runner for the MVP, you would think going up against one of the worst pass defenses in the league, he would have torched us. But he did not. But he did pretty well for a rookie in his 6th game. And let's call a spade a spade. He is a rookie in his 6th game. He is nowhere on the level of Lamar Jackson. Even after the game, the Commanders players were like, yo, we don't know what to do with this dude. Like, he gonna run it around us, he gonna pass it, like we have no answers for him. And Commanders fans, I give y'all credit. Y'all shut the hell up after the game. Just a couple of y'all chirping and saying, well, if we had Brian Robinson, listen, I had Brian Robinson on my fantasy team, Mr. 3.5 yards per carry. Like, come on now. He is not that guy. He's good, but he's not that guy that's going to change the fortunes of a team, especially going up against our team. Because if needed, we could have scored more points if we had to. Defensively, I don't know why everybody's saying the defense played so well. Like, this defense has given up 20-something points every game this season. Let's calm down about the defense played well. They played better. They didn't give up 30, so they played better, but let's not do the defense played well. And another thing is, please stop with these defensive code words. It's like when you say about black quarterbacks, like when you're like, oh, athletic, mobile. Like, y'all using keywords to describe our defense. Oh, the defense is sticky. What does that mean? You're the worst pass defense in the league. Give a damn if you're sticky. I don't give a damn how close you are. Well, it took a good throw for them. Yeah, they get paid just like you get paid. So let's stop with the stickiness. Let's just call a spade a spade. They're bad. They can't cover tight ends. Like, it is what it is. But anyway, it got me going off on a tangent. Anywho, yes. See, now I almost forgot my point now. But yes, the Commanders were missing a couple of pieces on offense, which would not have made a difference. But the difference is, if Jayden Daniels were Lamar 2.0, it doesn't matter what he's missing. He would have taken over the game. And I can't remember if it was, I think it was Chase Daniels on Twitter talk about, oh, Jayden Daniels with some next level stuff. He saw the play and threw the ball in the dirt instead of a 1-yard completion, saving time on the clock. If that's next level quarterback play, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I think Tom Brady was right about the dumbing down of players and coaches and plays, if that is next level. Sorry, Chase Daniel. But the Commanders gave it their best shot. They are not ready. And some of the Commanders fans are like, listen, I'm just happy we were in the game. I'm just happy it was close coming from where we came from. Listen, we didn't even expect to be here. So kudos to them, but the ones still running their mouths talking about the refs and this and that. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop. I hate doing the ref thing. My thing is this. Refs are going to call bad games just like players are going to play bad games. Do better, and you won't have to rely on the refs to get you out of certain situations. Tackle somebody. Stay with Zay Flowers. Don't let Derrick Henry get rolling. Do those things and worry a little bit less about the refs. What you should have been more concerned with was my quarterback. You should have been more concerned with Lamar Jackson, who just tore you apart. Now, Jaden, he's going to have a bright NFL future, but he is not quite on the level of Lamar Jackson as of yet. Listen, Lamar Jackson, and I don't hate it, I love talking about my quarterback, is, for all intents and purposes, probably the best quarterback in the league right now. His efficiency is off the charts. Right now, Lamar Jackson is 7th in the league in passing with a 67% completion percentage, throwing for 1,529 yards. Yes, he's above some people. He's even above next week's guy, Baker Mayfield, with 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And to go along with that, to go along with being the 7th rated passer in the league, he is 9th in rushing with 403 yards. So without even trying, Lamar Jackson has 403 yards rushing on the season. And actually in yesterday's game, he became the 2nd leading rusher from the quarterback position all time, passing Cam Newton. Now there is only one guy to go, and that is Michael Vick. And I know that for a lot of my generation, they believe that Michael Vick is the best dual threat quarterback that there is. But Michael Vick will tell you himself, it's Lamar Jackson, because up until the end of Vick's career, Vick didn't pass for nothing. He threw a pretty ball, he threw a deep ball, but his accuracy and just his precision was not really there because he didn't put the time in. Once he got out of his situation and he went to Philadelphia, things changed. But Lamar Jackson has been that, and he is currently doing that. So Lamar Jackson now takes his 22-1 record versus the NFC. And that one loss, we're going to avenge that this season, because the New York Giants, Daniel Jones, we're going to see you this year. We saw what you did against the Bengals last night. Do that against us, and we're going to beat you by 50. So as we stand right now, the Baltimore Ravens are 4-2, tied at the top of the AFC North with the 4-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. They found a way, but they have a quarterback controversy going on because they don't know, or some don't know, if they're going to go with Justin Fields or try to bring in Russell Wilson. Couldn't care less. Just know I can't wait for that Pittsburgh game, because the Ravens are 1-7 versus Pittsburgh, and for some reason we have a tough time beating them, even though they at times are not as talented as us. But being that we have next level Lamar, we gon' see.
We gon' see.
So I guess we have the rest of today to celebrate the Washington Commanders' victory, letting everyone know what we already knew, that the Baltimore Ravens were the kings of the Beltway. Like, there is no battle, there is no competition. It's kind of like one of those college football rivalries that they call a rivalry, but it's not a rivalry. It's a game that you just play against someone you are familiar with. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, the Commanders are not on our level. So it's not a competition. It's not a rivalry. It's not even close. But we move on after today, and we have a very stiff task ahead of us coming next week. Next week, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be on Monday Night Football playing against the red-hot Tampa Bay Buccaneers. These are the same Buccaneers that put up 51 points yesterday against the New Orleans Saints. Baker Mayfield, he showed his tail, and he leads the league with 15 touchdown passes. That going up against the worst rank, or the second worst ranked pass defense in the NFL, does not paint a pretty picture. So once again, the Baltimore Ravens may have to outscore their opponents. And this is something that we've told you a long time ago. Stop investing in the defense and get you an offense that can outscore opponents, because most of these defenses aren't going to stop anyone. But as bad as the defense has been, I have to give some kudos to some people. I have to give kudos to the offensive line, because while they may not be the best in the league, they have played way better than they did when they started the season. I have to give a shout out to Todd Monken. Todd Monken has been calling beautiful plays. He has mastered the fact that his offensive line isn't great, so I'm going to call stuff that kind of takes a little bit of pressure off of them and puts the onus on my playmakers. So Todd Monken is doing his thing. The offensive line is playing better. I also want to give a shout out to Travis Jones. Like, defensively, the Ravens really aren't that good, but Travis Jones has been balling out of control. So listen, if I say something about a player that's not playing well and they're doing well, I'll come back and let you know, hey, they are balling out of control. Rashad Bateman, a lot of people wanted him gone. A lot of people thought that he was a bust. Rashad Bateman is doing his thing, and hopefully he's going to get better and continue that trajectory, because all of these units, offensive line, Todd Monken, Travis Jones, and Rashad Bateman, we're going to need them against Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay has somewhat of a defense, a little bit, but they have an offense. They have Chris Godwin and they have Mike Evans. Don't know how we're going to guard against them, because for the most part, outside of Marlon Humphrey, our cornerbacks are sus. Safeties, they ain't catching a damn thing. Like, we have issues. We had issues covering tight ends. I don't know if Otto was going to go get his thing off on us. Pause. I'm not for certain. But we need these guys next week to show the world what the Baltimore Ravens are on prime time, and put that final nail in that coffin to let the league know, listen, those first 2 weeks were an aberration. This is not the team that we are, and we're going to show you. Because to me personally, looking at the schedule, I don't see too many losses coming. The only thing that might be an issue is the Christmas Day game versus the Houston Texans. Outside of that, Philadelphia, I thought they may have been competition before the season started, but Rodney was right. Jalen Hurts is a fraud. Nick Sirianni is a terrible head coach and a terrible person. I don't know why you are on the hot seat and you're taunting fans in Philadelphia. Like, they just have issues. But outside of the Houston game, the Baltimore Ravens may run the table. And hopefully they can take this momentum into the postseason, because that's my only concern. I'm happy for what everybody's doing. I'm happy for the progress that's being made and how much the players are playing better. But I've seen this movie before. I've seen the Ravens look extremely and totally dominant through the regular season, and then we hit the postseason. And I'm not foreshadowing and I'm not hoping and wishing, but I'm just saying we've seen this movie before. So I'm not going to get too high as to what they're doing right now in the regular season unless they've learned their lesson. Unless we're going to get an M. Night Shyamalan. What a twist! And they're going to switch things up. And I know that we have Derrick Henry now, and hopefully we will utilize him and just run things down their throat, because the Baltimore Ravens on the ground are truly unstoppable. They are on their second run of at least 39 consecutive games with 100 yards. They are only 5 games off of the record, which is held by the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. So they can run the ball, and let's hope we keep this going forward. Hopefully this will be the year. I know last season Ravens tried to acquire Derrick Henry, because I'm seeing it all on Twitter. They're blaming the Tennessee owners, saying that they vetoed a trade from Derrick Henry to Baltimore. I'm calling bullshit. Personally, I'm calling bullshit, because A, Houston knew they weren't keeping Derrick Henry past that season. So why keep him on a ship that's already sinking? Secondly, and this goes for 90-something% of NFL teams, no, not even just NFL teams, just teams in general. If you offer the right package, they'll trade you. If you give them enough, they'll give you the player. Apparently, the Ravens weren't offering enough. So don't say that the Titans owner vetoed something. No, we just didn't offer enough for him to get him. We have him now. So hopefully this is the turning point, because I desperately want Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl. Another MVP, cool. I'll take it. It is what it is. I can't remember who it was, but he left his Heisman at his grandmother's house, and nobody could find it because he really didn't give a damn. The only people to give a damn about the MVP are the Buffalo Bills, because somehow to this day, today, October 14th, they're still talking about last year and a couple years ago that Josh Allen had a better season and deserved the MVP trophy. Now that he ain't shit. Now that he showed the world, like, I need Stephon Diggs. Now they want to go back to the past because they can't say he's the current frontrunner. But another video for another time. This is the year that the Ravens and this offense, because we told you, defense does not win championships, because we've had great defenses and we haven't won a championship. Now that the defense is kind of sucking, even with all the allocation and all the money that we put over there, the offense is carrying us and the Ravens are winning, and they're looking dominant while doing it. So this, to me, and I'm proclaiming it, manifesting it in the ad, you speak it in the ad, it comes true. The Baltimore Ravens are winning the Super Bowl this season. The best teams in the NFL, they look vulnerable. We are starting to peak. We are hitting our stride. We are finding out what our identity is. And I believe that the Baltimore Ravens, in my heart of hearts, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan, they look like the best team in the NFL. don't care if you're 5-0. I don't care if you're 5-1. The Baltimore Ravens just offensively have been truly dominant. And no one can stop this run game if we stick to it. And that is the only thing that we need to do going forward, is learn from our past mistakes and overcome them.
Nah, man, I'm cool.